Never mind.
Why don't you save it for the next story? Because if I
I'm
wasn't
saving it
going
for
to
the
lose
next
it for
story
this
because I'm about to
story,
call Drake. So I already got bleeped right there. So look at this Momo ass face right here. Look at Drake being half a Momo on screen.
whoa.
Peter, for Christ, everybody, fine tooth comb, Jesus Christ, for this segment alone, and then the last segment. So let me read it before I get bleeped some more. Drake threatened to quit Degrassi because his character used a wheelchair. Apparently,
Spoilers for Degrassi, a show that came out 10 years ago.
what, like 15 years ago at this point, or 20 years ago.
A show that's so old it was only filmed in like a 480i.
Really, yeah, it really was. Oh Lord. So basically, like, there's a big ass quote to it, but he
Basically,
didn't
so
want to be in a wheelchair because he didn't want to seem soft in the rap game.
yeah, he was apparently, he sent this through in typical Drake fashion. Drake had his manager, whatever, send a message to one of the Degrassi people in response to a point in Degrassi where Drake's character is paralyzed from the waist down after surviving a school shooting. I mean, I don't even want to call that foreshadowing because it happens every week in America now at this point. But basically, there was a law firm in Toronto stating that Drake wouldn't return to season 6 of Degrassi unless Jimmy's injuries were healed. So maybe there's an episode where Drake's character goes to one of those preachers with a jet and just like heals them and like raises them out of a wheelchair. Like, I show thee, you are healed and you are now a fuckboy. Like I don't know, like what the hell is going on? What does he expect? I love how he sent his legal team out for writing notes. For writing notes.
Christ. This is the biggest Not a Little Bitch like nomination I want to give out ever. Also, that's got to be brackets. Like, we got to have like fights for the Not a Little Bitch award this year because there's a lot. You got Jermaine Cole quitting basketball but saying it was an injury, but you just sucked so fucking bad at layups that you didn't even get it, even though you're like 8 foot tall and you got dreads, so you should probably be good at basketball. Might need to bleep that too. But Drake has to send his legal team because he's like, oh, I'm way too soft. Like, I can't. Like, my friends might judge me in the rap game because, I can't do this. But instead of him going up with fucking balls and Weibos in his hand, he ain't doing that. He's sending out his team to do it. God, you are the scrawniest little dude on the planet. It's hilarious. In my feelings.
Real talk, like, just to be serious here, there's nothing about being in a wheelchair that makes you, like, soft per se, right?
No,
like
you could be hard on a wheelchair, possibly.
Like, never mind in cartoons where you have that one like Family Guy character who's like buff as shit and also like in a wheelchair. But like, stereotypes aside, like, there's too much to be said like in society where it's talked about where people with disabilities or people who like are differently able or don't have like all of their like quote unquote normal like physical mobilities about them are still able to live honestly healthier lives than a lot of people who do have all of those physical abilities about them. It could have been a great moment for Drake to be like, I mean, it was a moment in Degrassi that was written to particularly have a hit, right? I mean, like, hit emotionally in the sense of like, it's a shooting, it's a major character in it. Their recovery could have been something that folks with disabilities look up to, people who are shooting survivors. Like, well, let's take it to a different context. You know how many like, because Drake's never been in the hood, he doesn't know this, but like, I know OGs who've been shot who are in a wheelchair all their life. These are hard ass motherfuckers, and it's not that they're any less like tough or whatever, machismo and like need to strive that aside. Not any less tough because they're like in a wheelchair because they're paralyzed because they were shot. All right,
exactly.
Like. And again, like this, I gotta deconstruct this conversation so many ways because like being injured is not like how tough you are. All right. But this whole thing where like Drake made it a big deal and brought in the Lars over literally writing notes. I was about to like give this away as like, oh, Drake had his managers and was writer, but no, his legal team for writing notes. Noted little bitch. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Come on, Drake.